to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelsey, and today I just wanted to give you guys some tips on point pickup. I have a quite long list on my phone, so I might be split up into multiple videos. I was thinking about doing like categories, but I think I'm just gonna go off this list the way I have it, and these are just things that I kind of wish I knew and things that would just help you if you're just starting. So number one is to make sure your phone is charged and to bring a phone charger in your car, because you basically are on your phone for however long hours you're working. So make sure you have a car charger and the night before you charge your phone. Number two is make sure your gas is filled. I know I would come into a lot of problems with my gas being almost empty and I was about to go pick up an order, or I was in the middle of delivering an order. Or maybe if you even get like a little break, or you're about to leave in the morning, maybe leave a little bit early to make sure that your tank is filled, because you never know what that next order, how far it's going to be. You're gonna have to wait, pull over and get gas. Number two is a really big thing that will help you when you're starting, is make sure your car is clean, because the Walmart people can turn you away if they feel like they can't put your groceries in your car, or if your car is too messy. They can deny to load up your car and they will just request a new delivery driver. So make sure your trunk is cleared out and your back seat is cleared out, because they do look at those things before they load up the groceries. Number four, bring food. When I first started, that was a big thing that I had a problem with, was making sure that I had time to eat or that I wasn't starving myself all day. That was a really hard thing because I wanted those orders. I would get an order every hour on the hour, and in my mind I thought that I would stop around 12:45, and sometimes I would miss an 11:45 order, so I'd pick up that 12:45 instead because I missed it. So just make sure to bring food, or kind of schedule your deliveries to where you have enough time to either get a snack or stop to go eat, because I find that really easy when I bring food in the car, just because as you're waiting for groceries you can just kind of wait and eat and staying productive, so you don't have to take that hour break if you don't want to. But just make sure, because I know it can be hard, especially when you're like waiting for orders, that you're like, I don't have time to eat. At least that's how I am. I never think that I have time to eat, and it did put a big effect on me, just because I'd come home and I'd be so hungry and I'd get hangry, so I'd come home and be like, I need to eat now. So just make sure to bring food. Number five is a really big thing. Take care of your car, because that is your job. Like, make sure you get your oil changes you need, because you are putting so much mileage on your car. Make sure you're getting your tires checked out, and just overall just inspection of your car, just so that you don't have a problem of relying on this income and then maybe your car breaking down or something. So just make sure you really take care of your car. Number six is definitely a big thing that I did not do for like the first month of me working, but because you are self-employed, you do have to file a different tax, which I'm not really sure exactly how all that works yet, because I've never been self-employed before. But I know you can get potentially a tax break by making sure that you write down how much mileage you're using on your car, keeping receipts, any upkeep that you're doing because of your job. You can potentially get a tax break, so just make sure that you're writing the mileage that you're using. Don't count like when you stop to go at the end of the day to go to Target, don't count that, of course. I usually just write down each order whenever I'm about to pick it up in like a book. I have it in my car about the whole day and then each order. So if I went like 5 miles, I write 5 miles, 10 miles, blah blah blah, and I write it all down. And then I also just keep the gas receipt. Again, I'm not quite sure how to exactly do the taxes for this yet, but I don't want to have to file it and then maybe they need receipts or something and I don't have it. So just keep that in mind if you are making this a career out of it. And after you make so much, you have to file taxes because of how much you made. Then you will have to pay taxes, I believe. Again, I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me on that, but I've just heard to make sure you write down your mileage, because you'll have to put your business mileage compared to your leisure mileage of you going out, because I do use my car for my personal use and my job, so I just make sure that I have everything separated just in case that comes up. Number seven is a really big thing as well that has helped me get orders if you guys are having trouble getting orders, and that is having good service, because I have Verizon 5G and I swear everywhere I go my phone has no service. And it's like a really big thing, especially if you want to get orders and let's say you pick up your order and it hasn't hit that hour mark, you're gonna miss out. Like, I have so many dead zones, it's ridiculous. I've never realized how many dead zones I had until working this job, and I don't know if that's just because 5G is new or what it is, but I lose so many orders because I literally will be like next to Walmart and I'll have no service. I'll have like one tiny little bar and nothing will happen. So a really big thing is make sure you find a good carrier. I'm not really sure, I guess it would depend on where you live, but I can't switch my carrier because I am on my husband's family's plan. so I can't just go off and get a new plan. I mean, I could, but it'd probably be really expensive, and I just can't afford that. So I am stuck with Verizon, but I've kind of found a little bit of hacks to go around. I have learned that Walmart, because my brother works for Walmart, they have Wi-Fi. Told me that, and for some reason I never really thought they had Wi-Fi that you could use. So now I connect to their Wi-Fi in their parking lot, and I can get orders with no problem. I don't lose service, and that's just like a really big thing. So if you're near a Walmart or anywhere that has service, definitely connect to the internet. And I know I connect, of course, at my house. I connect to the internet, and I don't ever miss an order. And when I go to Walmart, I connect to their internet, and I can get the orders with no problem. Because I was losing so many orders, I'd get so frustrated, but now I don't have that problem. I'm not really sure what number I'm on, so I'm just gonna go on with the next one. Okay, so the next one is when you are delivering. I had this problem come up once, and it was really sucky. But luckily the customer service person that took care of me, but after it took a while because you do have to go through their chat, and it's a little bit tedious when you need to fix things. So I had an order that, which is when I first started, I had an order where I delivered it, and the like GPS that goes with the app didn't match up to the house that I was dropping off. And you'll have that a lot of times. They've kind of just disabled that most of the time, that I've kind of noticed, but it didn't connect, and it kept saying I wasn't at the location, you're not at the location, you're not at the location, but I was. And of course I needed to take off because I had two orders on that one batch, so I had to go and drop off the next one. So I dropped off the groceries and I just ignored it. I got to somewhere where I had service, and I could not figure out where that order was, like where it was telling me to go. I had no idea. I did drop it off at the right house. And so later on I get a call from them, and I answer, and they go, did you deliver this order? And I go, yes. I was able, I guess they disabled it because they said, okay, we would disable the whatever it's called. So they disabled it, and I was able to confirm it, but of course I didn't take a picture on the little app, so I didn't take a picture of anything. I was on the chat, and they said, okay, do you have the pictures? We can load them up into, like on their end, they can load up the picture and the picture of the building. And I said, no, I don't. I just dropped it off. I didn't take a picture. I didn't think of it. Like, it was my first time. I didn't really think of it. And so they didn't want to give me the delivery money. They just canceled it because they said, well, technically we're not sure if you delivered it, which I mean, I understand that, but it's like, I did deliver it, so that's what really sucked the most. And then they asked me, why wouldn't you take a picture for like verification? And I was like, honestly, I didn't think about it. I was just starting, and I dropped it off, and then I went up to the next place I needed to go. So finally I got a hold of somebody. I ended up having to go all the way back to the house, ask the customer if I could take a picture of the little barcode that's on the bags, and then take a picture of their house, and that was the only way they were going to pay me. So for future reference, just make sure if you cannot deliver somewhere, or for some reason it's not letting you load the pictures or something, just take a picture of your phone of the groceries and of the building, and then you can just email them, and they can make sure that that order is correct, so that you don't get flagged for not properly loading up the correct images. Another big thing that will help you with orders is answering their calls. At first, I never wanted to answer their calls because I was like, oh no, they're gonna be like, where's your ETA? Where are you at? And I was always terrified because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm on my way, I'm almost there. But I've learned that if you don't answer their calls, if you are 5 minutes late to your next order, they will cancel that order. Like, there's been so many times where I'll be like 5-10 minutes, like I'm literally almost there pulling into the parking lot, and I'm maybe like 10-15 minutes late, and my order will get canceled. And it's usually right before they call me, and of course I don't answer because I'm scared they're gonna be like, where's your ETA? And I don't know, I was just scared to get in trouble. So I've learned to answer their calls. Mine on my phone comes up as like spam, but I've answered their calls, and now when I talk to them, they just want to know my ETA, and I go, yes, ETA to like the person's house or to the next Walmart that I'm going to. And so now I answer them, and they'll just ask me for it, and I'll give them the information. They'll be like, okay, and they won't cancel my order. So definitely answer their calls just so you don't get your orders canceled. Not all the time will they call you before you arrive, but I have noticed that after 15 minutes, they'll cancel your order. It's not Walmart, it's them. They're canceling your order because I think they think you're not making it on time, even though I mostly sit in the parking lot because the order isn't even ready yet. Another big thing that will help you with orders is getting familiar with the store, whether that be the location. I only focus on about 2 Walmarts. Now I only focus on 1 because more than likely you will go to the same people's house, at least in my area. It might be different in other people's areas, but I more than likely go to like sometimes the same person's house that I went to maybe last week or literally the day before. And it just helps you just driving and feeling comfortable and kind of knowing like, okay, I kind of know like this way isn't the best way right now. I still use my GPS, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't think that's the fastest way, so I'll go a different way. And usually it's maybe Siri didn't know that way. So definitely get familiar with the store and where the location is. That definitely will help you. Oh, this one was just like a little tip of like bringing the groceries to the person's house, I've learned to only do like 3 trips. I don't like to do more than 3 trips. Of course, if they have bigger items, I have to, really heavy items. But I've learned that if you get, I think it's the 12-pack sodas, I think they're 12-pack, but I'll like pop the little things where you can grab them, and I will grab them kind of like this. Like I'll put one here and then the other pack here to where I can hold 2. And I've learned that because sometimes I have people that get like 6 or 8 of those, and so that's really helped me. And then I'll hold like maybe the super light groceries like on my thumb, just so I can make as most as I can with delivering, especially if they live in an apartment complex. I have to go like 4 stories up. It's definitely helped me. If you're a general merchandise type of person who likes to just do the general merchandise, get a load of stuff and just kind of drive around and not really worry, I noticed that the general merchandise like bulk time is usually at like 9:56 is usually when they'll drop like their big first load. And then I believe there's one later on the day, but I usually don't work past like 3:45. So, and then this is also a tip for dropping off groceries. Make sure to not block their screen doors, or like their storm doors, I guess I think was what they're called, because one, that'll better your tip if they decide to maybe give you a little bit more or a little bit less, because they get frustrated when their door is blocked because they can't get their groceries. And I know a lot of times we're not really thinking and we're more just dropping them off, but just make sure you kind of look at the door, realize how far it's opening, if they need to open it, and just make sure you organize the groceries wherever they need them to not block that door. That'll definitely help you, and it'll make the customer happy. And then another big tip when you're delivering groceries is if you happen to see the customer, be super nice. They're the ones who are tipping you. They're the ones who are giving you that little extra money on top of what the order is already giving you. So be nice to them, tell them to have a good day, be polite to them, and more than likely sometimes they'll even give you a cash tip if more than likely you see them. So just be super nice, respectful. If you notice, usually if I notice it's like an older customer, I'll ask them if they want me to bring them inside or something, or a lot of times I'll notice like they might be like injured or something, and I'll ask them if they want me to bring their groceries inside just to make it easier for them. A lot of them will just make me like kind of leave it in the garage, and then some will make me put them inside, and I have no problem. But of course, be safe. If you feel like it's not safe, then don't do it. But sometimes I can kind of like feel for people and kind of like see like this is a nice person, so I'll do that for them. And this is the big thing that I struggled with, and maybe some of you guys out there, is don't be hard on yourself. I know I had a lot of times where I was just like, I can't do this, I'm not getting orders, I wasn't fast enough, I couldn't get the orders, I was getting one order like every 3 hours, and I was like, this isn't worth it, this isn't worth it, like I quit, I just need to go find a regular 9-to-5 job. But I didn't want to do that because I did want to do social media, and I really want to get into that. So I wanted to have a flexible schedule of what I wanted to do, and I did want to get into working out and just taking care of myself, because I did work a 9-to-5 job for 5 years, and it was retail. And if anyone knows retail, it can be rough, especially when you're in charge of a lot of people. And I wanted a break from that. I loved it. It was wonderful, a lot of opportunities, but I just didn't want to do that. So I was really hard on myself a lot of the times when I didn't meet my quota that I wanted to get, which was 10 orders, just to make sure that I was equal to the amount of pay of me leaving that job in that position. So I wanted to make sure that I was making the same or even more amount of money. So there was a lot of times where I was super hard on myself, and I would get frustrated, and it would reflect on the rest of the week of me not being able to get orders on time, and I get frustrated. So if you are just starting, it did take me a good like 3-4 months to finally like get in my rhythm and know how to get orders and when to get orders and how long to wait before leaving the Walmart, how long to wait to actually go pick up the order. Which if you guys want to know more about that, I can tell you guys more if you want, because I've kind of found like a good rhythm of how to get them. And I feel like sometimes I see other drivers that I know, and they know like she's always here, she's always getting these orders, and at first it was always them getting the orders, and I would like maybe once go to that Walmart and I was like, how do these people always get these orders? So now it's kind of like the opposite. Like usually when I pull into like the area where you pick up groceries, they'll kind of like all look at me and like point, and I'm like, I wonder what they're saying. Like I just think they're being like, how is she getting the orders? Kind of like how I was. So sometimes when I like the hour will come up where you need to start picking orders, I'll like get an order like super fast, and then I feel like someone's looking at me, and they'll like look at me and then look away, like, did you get that order? Why didn't I get it? So I don't know, it's kind of fun now. But I mean, they still get orders, like I still see them at the same hour that I get them, they just probably get like the third one that's finally dropped versus they probably used to get the first one. Just don't be hard on yourself because it's gonna take time. Don't give up. If this is something you do want to do, whether it works better with your lifestyle or maybe you're also taking a break from a regular 9-to-5 job, just don't be hard on yourself. Don't give up. You'll find the rhythm. It took me, again, like I said, like 3 to 4 months before I finally got like, okay, I'm waking up at this time, I'm doing these many orders, I'm gonna stop at this time, I'm gonna get this done. So yeah, just don't be hard on yourself. Another thing which recently popped up is I'm part of this like chain of where they like warned you about how you're taking your pictures, which I think is kind of silly because the camera on the app is so zoomed in that if I needed to take a picture of the groceries, I have to step like in the middle of their driveway to get like the door how they want it. And then if I need to take a picture of like, they want the whole building basically, I have to be like across the street. So I find that a little bit silly because I do take a picture of like the groceries. I try to get the door kind of in it, and then I do pick, if I can't take a picture of the whole building, I will take a picture of like the numbers on the building to where you can at least see them. Like I did drop it off at that address. So just make sure to take proper pictures if you have time, just so you don't get flagged. Because I believe after so many flags, you get like a warning and then they can block you. But don't be too scared about that because it is like a giant chain, and I've gotten it twice. So I'm kind of confused if it's just like an automatic robot sending the emails or if it's actually somebody, because it was the exact same message. And then one time they made it a chain by accident, I think, and so other people were commenting on it and saying like basically all the things they need to fix about the app, which I did write them and say that I do try, but I feel like I have to be like in the middle of the street to take a picture of the building, and the camera on the app is so zoomed in. So yeah, just take proper pictures if you can. Another good thing to have when you're starting is a phone mount in your car. So having a phone mount will definitely help you, just so that you're not like looking down at your GPS on like your lap or in the cup holder or anywhere. I have one that's a pop socket one that you just put on like your, what are they called? I guess the air vent thing. You can just put it on there. I have no problem. It fits perfectly fine with my pop socket wallet. Definitely get a car mount. I see people use the ones that like on the window. They have ones that like, I guess, connect to like the frame. Like they have all different types of car mounts, but definitely invest in one that's good, especially one that will last you quite a bit of time with like bumping and roads, because a lot of roads are like got potholes in it and you don't want to like poof, and then the phone like falls underneath your steering wheel or something. So definitely invest in one of those. That would definitely help you. I'm pretty sure there's many on Amazon that you can find, because that would really just help you. Just prop it up there and you don't have to worry about it. So another one with delivering groceries is a lot of the times you will have houses that, again, this goes kind of with the phone service thing, you won't have good service. So when you're doing those like 4 or 5 steps that you have to do, it'll kind of just load, and then you're like, okay, well I have no service here, like this house is in the middle of nowhere, or maybe it's a brand new neighborhood, so there's not really good service there. So what I've learned is as it's loading, I'll just get in my car, try to remember, because of course GPS doesn't work, try to remember at least how to get out of that neighborhood or something, and just until I get service, and it'll load and it'll load and it'll load and it'll load, and I'll be like that little screen, and it'll just keep loading. Don't exit out of it, because if you did take pictures, that'll go away. So I just leave it on that loading screen and wait till I go find service, and then usually it'll pop up and say unexpected something has happened. You'll just hit okay, and it'll start loading again, and just let it load, and then as soon as it hits service, it'll say the next thing, or I think it says like new delivery or something, and then you can go to like your next destination. So don't exit out of it when it's loading, and just kind of leave it on there, and then just try to drive to like, usually when you get familiar with the neighborhood, you'll know like, oh, I know at this end of this road usually I have service. So I'll usually just like drive till I get service, and then it'll load, and then it'll be uploaded. Because like I said, if you do exit, everything will delete, like the pictures. Usually if like the GPS signal is on, it'll tell you like you're not near the address, and it won't let you continue. And then you have to take time to go in the chat, and it's just a whole lot of more things you have to do. So just let it load, and it'll upload whenever it gets service.